Is it right to call SARS-CoV-2 the Chinese virus? Since President Trump's popularization of that term, much of the political left has alleged it's racist. The Southern Poverty Law Center has pushed that narrative to journalists, and CNN's Chris Cillizza listed the name as one of President Trump's 10 most outrageous lines on coronavirus. Hillary Clinton agreed the phrase was racist rhetoric, and political groups aligned with her are using that messaging in their election year communications. The Center for American Progress Action called the label despicable and dangerous racism, and MoveOn.org's chief public affairs officer said the same in an interview on MSNBC. But the notion that connecting China with the virus is racist is not just an American phenomenon. In Italy, the mayor of Florence suggested residents hug Chinese people to encourage them in the fight against the novel coronavirus. On February 2nd, the Italian Chinese Youth Union put on a street protest asking Italians to do just that. Shortly thereafter, Italy became the nation worst hit by the virus. Fighting racism and xenophobia is a noble goal, but that first requires actual racism and xenophobia to fight. In this case, that's absent, and the worldwide left has instead only aligned themselves with Chinese communist propaganda. From the start, the Chinese government blew their response to the crisis. When Dr. Li Wenliang noticed early cases of COVID-19 and feared an epidemic, he tried to get the word out. But the police accused him of making false comments and disturbing the social order. They forced him to write a written statement admitting to illegal behaviors. At the same hospital, Dr. Ai Fen tried again to alert authorities, but the hospital's discipline department gave her the same treatment and banned staff from discussing the disease in public. Chinese authorities refused to publicly confirm the existence of a new coronavirus until after Western media had already broken the story. And despite sequencing the genome of the virus, China didn't release that genome for the rest of the world to study for at least a week. A study found that if social distancing and other non-pharmaceutical interventions had been conducted 3 weeks earlier than China started them, the number of cases would have been reduced by 95%. Instead, on January 18th, the city of Wuhan held a massive New Year's event, and the authorities let some 5 million people leave the region without being screened. By early March, 3 doctors at Dr. Li and Dr. Ai's hospital had died of COVID-19, including Li himself. The hashtag #WeWantFreedomOfSpeech trended on social media after his death, but the government quickly censored it. How did Chinese authorities message their failure to their people? They invented a false story about the American military spreading the disease to China. So knowing all that, how did the absurd idea that blaming China for the virus was racist come about? A day before Trump popularized the term Chinese virus at a press conference, Chinese state media Xinhua News pushed the narrative that the virus does not have a nationality. Using racist and xenophobic names to cast blame for the outbreak on other countries can only reveal politicians' irresponsibility and incompetence. State media China Daily, along with many of Trump's critics, shortly followed with similar messaging. Meanwhile, the Epoch Times, a newspaper founded by Chinese expatriates fiercely critical of communism, has advocated for calling SARS-CoV-2 the Chinese Communist Party virus. In Los Angeles, Chinese Americans protested in front of the Chinese consulate, accusing them of creating a man-made tragedy. Inside, Chinese Consul General Zhang Ping responded by warning against xenophobia and discrimination against Chinese people. Long after being lauded by the world for locking down Wuhan and taking strong action against the virus, China has continued to lie about COVID-19 to the rest of the world. The Epoch Times received internal government documents from China's Shandong province, revealing that on one day, the number of COVID-19 cases was in fact 52 times greater than the number the government reported. Using funeral home data provided by Wuhan residents, the Epoch Times estimated that the death toll there could be 12.7 times the official figure. Whatever the truth of the scale of the Chinese people suffering, what we can know for certain now is that the Chinese government is lying to us. Is the worldwide left knowingly pushing Chinese communist propaganda? Probably not. But their willingness to unquestioningly align themselves with it is almost as bad. What's done is done, and all nations of the world, China included, need to work together to fix the situation. But fixing China's authoritarian instincts is a part of making sure we have all the data we need to cure the virus and to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. Criticizing the Chinese government need not mean criticizing the Chinese people. Now more than ever, they need us to help them fight an authoritarianism that has contributed to their suffering. Don't be afraid to call the Chinese virus what it is. I'm Jake Klein. For more, watch our video on how capitalism is curing the coronavirus. Thanks for watching.